Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a really big warning out for pretty much everyone out there when it comes to the Xbox side. Now, as you guys do or do not know, we have quite a bit of news to cover. Starfield is actually now out in the wild, but one kind of big issue over here is that we're seeing good news, and we're going to cover up a lot of that stuff, basically for all the Xbox boyos, and I am a little bit excited for Starfield, but there is some pretty bad news that's been floating around. So I'm going to give you guys a big warning on that, and as well, let's go dive into some, in my opinion, pretty good news. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below if you guys want to follow. And of course, as well, I want to hear all your thoughts and comments down below. I think the one big question for this video is, are you guys going to go and pick up Starfield? I'm pretty hyped up for it. I can't wait to play it up on PC myself, and I want to know if you guys are getting excited for it or not. We have both good news and we have both bad news. But let's go first of all, start with the bad news to kind of get you guys, I guess, all caught up to speed. So as you guys do or do not know, we're now starting to see a very small influx, or as well in the very near future, of the, well, early impressions of Starfield. There's a little bit of a pre-drama for it, where some folks were actually worried that they were actually not showing the games early on, such as Gamescom, or as well also on any of the pre-orders. But apparently now there has been a few review copies that'll be in the motion very soon, and there's also been now apparently even people leaking out the actual game for Starfield itself. Like, I've had a chance to sometimes go and see the Dreamcast guy himself and float around on Twitter, but I also saw a few other people as well mention this, where, and this is kind of where the big warning is, some of the main story for Starfield has now been making its way out in the wild. And I want to remind you guys, a lot of the times too, when it comes to games coming out, especially when there's either press copies or whatever it might be, there is usually a big influx of folks that will want to go and spoil everything possible. Even sometimes too, like sometimes we'll have, like, let's say an IGN, not to go into just kind of random example, and then maybe you have a random employee who's newer and their job is to go and, like, they get maybe like 10 different press copies, and their job is to maybe get like cinematics for Starfield, or they want a chance to play it for a review or whatever it may be, or they get early access. And then sometimes they care more about the clout, or they want to upload it on like a 4chan, on an alternate account, or on Twitter, or whatever it may be. And this is where now we have to have a really big warning. As you guys probably know, it does seem like Starfield's a very story-centric game. Now, it does, like, it's kind of like, say, for like a Fallout. Fallout had a overall pretty big open world game for like the, you know, RPG type style game. There's small quest lines everywhere, but there's also a main story quest, and there could be twists and turns and alternate endings and whatever. And that's what we have to be a little bit worried about, is that if you have this main story line, which is probably the more important stuff and people do not want to get spoiled on, it kind of just seems like, yeah, there's like this been floating around. So number one, there might be even the ending of the game itself up on like social media. So if you're on Twitter, make sure you guys go and block out that. You can basically go and like block out certain terms. I myself am going to be probably blocking out Starfield out of my Twitter terms, and as well, try my best not to get spoiled. I actually am a little bit excited for this game, and I hope it will turn out good. Cautiously optimistic, I think, is the best words I can go and say for it. But like I said, I just want to give you guys a big head out for it too as well. And same thing too, is we'll probably see even more leaks come out as more press stuff comes out, because people want to either do early streams, or share with their friends and break embargoes, which in theory you really shouldn't go and do, obviously, but it's also, well, what kind of can you go and do? Like, it just happens a lot regardless. So just big warning on that one. If you have an Xbox or a PC, please be careful on that. But now to go get into some kind of good news to segue on in, is that Starfield has now officially gone gold. So if you guys do not know what going gold means, basically means that the game itself is done. Or more so, it's ready to go be sold and basically go live. There's going to probably be a lot of bugs, a lot of issues. This game seems big, and if you guys know any Skyrim or Fallout games, yeah, this is probably going to be a big mamma jamma. So Starfield is a staggeringly ambitious game, but it appears to be ready to go for a few weeks in its September 6th launch. So I'm actually, once again, very hyped up for this one. So good news either way. Bethesda has now officially announced that the sci-fi RPG has gone gold. Going gold basically means the game is complete and ready to be sent to the printed on discs and shipped in the stores. Bethesda also revealed that players can preload the digital version of the game itself, and Xbox players can do so beginning tomorrow as of August 17th, and then Steam users can do it on August 30th as well. So once again, I'm very excited for this one. I can't wait to go play the game. Starfield is Bethesda's biggest open world RPG I'm sure you guys have seen so far, and as well, there was also a really big breakdown too from this year's Xbox showcase. If you guys missed it, they showed gameplay and story and all that type of stuff too as well. But all around, cool stuff. Like, it's sad that this seems like the story is being spoiled and no one likes seeing that, but at the same exact time, at least it's going gold. Although we have been now seeing some negative reviews already apparently popping on in, dividing folks out in the community, which is also never a good vibe. Now, that's not good. They go and say the devs, as of this point, can now have confirmed that they'll have all these big features, like a huge amount of side quests, which is also going to make sense too as well. There's supposed to be over 1,000 planets, all around good to go, a bunch of branching paths too as well for the story and RPGs to be able to go take, and various factions we can join. So fans are also convinced to be able to play as a space samurai, do different types of apartment stuff, and as well on all the type of gameplay. And at least it looks kind of really cool too. They also are trying to go push the fact that it's the least buggiest game out there when it comes to Starfield, which is always nice to see, because Fallout and Skyrim definitely was a buggy mess. Still fun, I still love the game, but that you guys have, if you guys ever played them, you can attest, like those things were some buggy games. But there is still people who kind of care. Like, a lot of folks are kind of on the negative side. A lot of folks keep on thinking the game itself might be too ambitious. There's a lot of folks out there who may keep on just, I don't know, there's like a lot of folks that are kind of skeptical. And I think rightfully so, mainly because this is like the first, in my opinion, besides Fallout and, Skyrim, Elden Ring, not Elden Ring, Elder Scrolls. Besides that type of genre of game, they haven't really had the best track record. There's the occasional good one. Let's go and say something like, there I was gonna go say Redfall. Like, that's a good example where there's sometimes not the best. Although it is a separate Bethesda studio, don't get me wrong, Bethesda does have the occasional hit or misses on brand new IPs, and that makes me a little bit on the concerned side. I think that makes a lot of other folks as well also be on the concerned side when it comes to Starfield. And of course, as well, it's also natural with the big game being so polarizing and so big, and also being like the bread and butter of Xbox, that some folks might be worried about. And we're seeing a lot of, especially on Twitter, I have in my own Twitch stream as well, I've had a lot of folks that are like, yeah, I'll probably check it out because it is on Game Pass, which is good. That's always a good W. But also a lot of folks out there that are like, well, it better be good. It's probably be a big game. I don't have my hopes up. Cautiously optimistic, as I keep on saying. So they even have things over here too, where one Reddit user posted on their site that they're concerned that Starfield may attract more criticism than it deserves. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's actually one thing I think that might be kind of a rough experience, and I also want to maybe go even media kind of blind when it comes to Starfield, unless it's like a really, really bad game, like one of the worst games known to man, because I do kind of feel like it's going to be under so much skepticism, and a lot of folks, maybe even myself included, if I have to admit, and I hate to admit it, might be just trying to go look in the game itself and be a little bit too scared. And by that, I mean, like, just maybe scared to actually like the game. Maybe we're going to be too critical for it. Like, some games, you just go launch the game. If it's fun, you enjoy it. If it's a little bit buggy or not the best, like, you still like it. And you'll still tell people, yeah, it's worth playing or worth picking up. And then sometimes there's games like Redfall where people actively do not want you to go and play it. I think a good example is Cyberpunk. As of right this second, I would say Cyberpunk's a good game. It's had a lot of good quality of life updates. The game itself is completely different. And, well, I think it was good. But if you also asked me when the game first came out the first 2 or 3 months, I still would have said the story was cool. Like, the bones of the game was good. But would I recommend you spend the $70 for it or $60 or whatever it might be? Probably not. But I think that's also one of the big things. I think a lot of folks can be a little bit more skeptical on this. They say, I have little reason to believe that Starfield will be bad, which I agree on. I think this game, no matter what, will be at least an average game, bare minimum. But they say, I already know at launch and following for years, unconstructive criticisms and just plain fabricated complaints will drown out any of the praise this game will get. It's because of the 2 reasons. The first is what people want out of the game. Like, we haven't had a chance to play the game, and they're maybe expecting, some people are probably maybe expecting like a Fallout style game. Some people might be expecting more of a Skyrim style game. Some people might be thinking more of like a No Man's Sky type style game. And we've seen a little bit of gameplay, but we haven't seen as much to fully expect what we want to go and see. And as well, there's also be other various types of things too as well, where some folks either just are looking into it to be a hater. Like, even right now, I'm seeing a lot of clamoring of people being like, I'm not going to play this game or it's going to suck. And I think there's going to be potential here. Like, this is a very long time in the making. And as well, it is Bethesda. It is a multi-billion-dollar company. And also Xbox also realizes that this is supposed to be a very, very important game too as well. So I think there's potential. Sorry about a ramble on that one. They also did have some good, nice developers go and confirm you have over 20 named characters you can actually explore the galaxy with a nice little squad of companions to be rocking on through too as well. So it's like a nice little good Q&A that was popping over here on the Discord and gave a bunch of brand new info. There's going to be things like jail on top of that, if you do pass as friends or not, and you have over 20 different crew members, think like Fallout, companions to have you go play in the games too as well. There's also going to be apparently be 4 different core romance options too for really baseline stuff, and it's kind of cool because you could also go and recruit some of these people too as well. So it's going to be kind of cool, and some of them have really cool stories and backstories and all of that, which I do think things make seem really nice as well. They might have different types of like weapon specialties, maybe different types of like personalities, and at the same time too, I think it's very, very nice to go and see. They have cool different abilities too as well. So as we keep on seeing more and more of this news, even though the game is big, I'm excited. Like I really hope this game's gonna be good, but I also don't want you guys to get spoiled, so make sure you guys are careful on that. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow the Amazon links too, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.